Let's turn now to the Middle East, and the tensions between the United States and Iran are rapidly getting hotter by the day. More than 20 Americans have been injured by drone attacks on their military bases inside Iraq and Syria. So they are targeting our military personnel, and we knew this was coming. And they have the proxy assets to do it. Iranian-backed groups have hit us at least 13 times in just the past week. Iran already warned Israel it would attack if they invaded Gaza. And now President Biden is upping the ante, at least with his words, issuing a stark warning toward the Islamic Republic that the United States will not tolerate attacks on American troops overseas.
My warning to the Ayatollah was that if they continue to move against those troops, we will respond. And he should be prepared. It has nothing to do with Israel.
Mark Thiessen, the president has been hit in recent days for more words than action. And what I am prayerful about is that he's taking some great action that they cooked up in the Situation Room with a bevy of Pentagon officials and generals, and they just can't tell us.
Well, I hope so. I mean, keep in mind that he's inching up closer and closer to Donald Trump's policy, which was he drew a red line with Iran that he said if you kill you or one of your proxies kills a single American, we will take military action against Iran.
Well, our men and women have been hurt. We're told at least 24. So what does this red line look like? Is it perforated? Is it dotted?
We got 30 Americans dead in Israel, people taken hostage, and there have been no consequences for it at all. When Trump was president, he drew that red line, and he said to the Iranians, if you kill an American, we're going to strike at you, and you're going to pay the price. And when they crossed that red line, he killed Qasem Soleimani. And then he told the Iranians, and I have the tweet, he said, I've picked out 52 targets in honor of the 52 hostages you took in 1979, and if you retaliate, I'm going to strike Iran proper. And I'm going to hit him hard, and I'm going to hit him fast, and they backed down. And not only did they back down, peace broke out. He signed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 Abraham Accords, right? So the lesson is when bullies back down when they face overwhelming force. And the reason why Iran is not backing down right now is because they think that Joe Biden is more fearful of escalation than they are. And so he needs to draw a serious, credible red line. He needs to reiterate the Trump red line and say, and if you touch a single hostage, if one of those, the Hamas is holding hostages, we hold you, Ayatollah, responsible for their lives. If anything happens to them, you're going to pay the price, not Hamas.
You know, what I am concerned about, and I appreciate you so much taking us back through what we all lived through as Americans during the Trump administration, because he also holds the distinction in the open era and this current century of being the only president that Russia didn't go to war with one of its neighbors under. Kayleigh, what concerns me now, though, is with this president, if the expectation is to take action, what would that be after all of the death and carnage that we've already seen? This red line, I mean, his former boss, Obama, said it was a red line with Syria, and that turned out to be an invisible red line that maybe only Obama could see.
Right. That was the cautionary tale of red lines. And Obama, 2012, you said it, he drew a red line on the use of chemical weapons in Syria, went unenforced. And what did Vladimir Putin do? Vladimir Putin went in support of Assad. Vladimir Putin then went into Crimea. Vladimir Putin then went into Ukraine. Didn't happen on Trump's watch for the reasons Mark laid out. But I love that you ask, is the red line perforated? Is it dotted? I mean, I think that's such a vivid way to describe what is happening here, because Blinken laid out that red line before the United Nations. Biden underscored it yesterday. But to your point, we've already had many service members injured from Iran. So where exactly is the red line? It seems pretty weak at this moment.
And by the way, Trump enforced Obama's red line twice on chemical weapons. That was that if you use chemical weapons, we're going to strike you. Obama didn't do it. Trump did it twice.
And then they kept using them. So it didn't deter them from using them in the future. They kept doing it. Red lines are an interesting communications tactic. They can often be a diplomatic and a military deterrence tactic. I think the conversation happening right now, look, Biden and Blinken have both been very clear that Iran should be on notice. The conversation I think they're having with the Israelis right now is how do we prevent Iran from encouraging Hezbollah to undertake sort of a full-scale attack on Israel on a second front, how to not get more Iranian proxies being more aggressive against Israel right now while Israel focuses on Gaza. And that's a tough balance, right? And I can guarantee you that in the intelligence community, there's lots of covert ways to hold Iran accountable. I think those of us who've worked in government and who haven't are familiar with some of them. Some of them have been reported publicly. So I think that Iran right now is probably a little bit nervous Because
Really?
Israel, I think they probably are. I think the President of the United States has made clear, this feels like a very different moment in the region. And there are a lot of people, a lot of countries, including some of those Abraham Accord countries who are also very focused on Iran, the Arab states,
of course
who have also made very clear that if Iran, gets more aggressive and gets their proxies to be more aggressive, they will also take steps as well. So it is a tinderbox, even more so than it was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. And I think our goal should be to tell Iran that we will hold them responsible, but to not ignite a further conflict that puts Israel at risk.
So you're in favor with words over action? Because I got news for you.
I'm in
you
favor
know
of
who
both.
decides if they make it wider? Iran. I mean, Hezbollah has more than 100,000
Every party gets a vote in this war,
Let's get Emily in
Every
here.
party gets a vote in this war, and I think that words actually do matter in conflict.
Well, the people on the ground don't get a vote.
I hear what you're saying, and I think I just wish that I felt more confidence in that. I feel like with this president right now who keeps saying don't be prepared, we haven't seen the actual deterrent consequence of that. I spoke about this yesterday, that I just haven't seen a demonstration by the United States to little old me, that gives me faith and confidence that these warnings actually hold water. So I'm pretty confident that our enemies are laughing all the way to the bank too. And more insidiously, they're laughing all the way to their attacks. And I point to the fact that, when we meld behavior with words as well, this president nominated Jack Lew to be ambassador to Israel 2 years after he assumed the commander-in-chief position. So if we want to talk about who is arguably an Iran apologist, that's who is in place right now to be our ambassador between us and Israel. The Pentagon reports that 21 U.S. service members have been injured in attacks by Iranian proxies, including 19 diagnosed with traumatic brain injuries. How much is too much? How much is enough? Secretary Austin testified that we were attacked 83 times, responded 4 times, and now 13 times against U.S. soldiers in Syria and Iraq in the last week. And still, just words from this president. So I personally have no confidence, no faith in him as commander-in-chief. My fear and my anxiety deepen with my loved ones being deployed under his watch, and I can't imagine how other families feel.
You laid that out so beautifully. Marie, just a quick word from you, because, I mean, you made the opposite argument. Are you okay with us just sitting by?
Well, I actually didn't say we should just sit by. I guess my question to Emily would be, what do you want him to be doing right now? Like, I don't think any of us want to be in some sort of...
Fighting for our people.
But what does that mean?
Doing what we
But
said
I don't
we'd
know
do
what
as
that
America,
means,
that
right?
we wouldn't let it happen
But
again.
I don't think we want to get in a hot conflict with Iran. I think that is not good for U.S. security, and that's not good for Israeli security.
But you know
is
how
more
3
fearful of getting in a
days ago
hot
the
conflict.
Pentagon said that there was no direct orders from the supreme leader, allegedly
So what do you want us to be doing?
So my point is,
what do you
could
want
we,
the U.S. to be doing right
could
now?
Freeze
we
the $6
retaliate
billion.
physically? Yeah, could we?
You think we should strike Iran? You think we should militarily
can't we
Take out
strike
Katib
the
Hezbollah.
proxies? Why
Take
can't
out
we
Katib
respond?
Hezbollah. They're the ones who fired at the base. Even Trump did that before Qasem
We are helping
Soleimani.
the Israelis
If you-
do that every
Enforce
single
oil
day.
sanctions.
No, we're not.
like
We haven't hit
Trump.
Katib
We are
Hezbollah. They're
helping the
firing,
Israelis
with
do
impunity
that
on our
every
bases.
single day.
Yeah, we are not hitting
America,
Hezbollah
when
right
America
now.
gets shot at and America doesn't fire back, then America is seen as weak. Simple.
Yeah.
All right, last word.
Enforce maximum pressure campaign like Trump did. Freeze the $6 billion permanently. There's all sorts of things you could do short of going into Iran or having a military conflict. We're not doing any of
Can
it.
we stop them from selling all that oil and making all that money? All right.